Hello dear learner, welcome to our 5th lesson, and in this lesson we are going to look at question 5 from 2015 to 2019. So the first question: a farmer had 280 chicken. He sold 5/7 of the chicken on the first day and then sold a fifth of the remainder the following day. How many chicken were sold? So it is good to remember what they mean by the remainder. So if he sold 5/7, then there was a remainder. So in this was tested in KCPE 2019. So solution for this will be 5/7 times 280, and this one by 7 you get 1, and by 7 you get 40. So 40 times 5 you get 200, the number of chicken sold on the first day. Meaning if he sold 200 and he had a total of 280 chicken, then there was a remainder. So the remainder was 280 minus 200 to get 80. So it is a fifth of 80. Note that. It is a fifth of 80, and this will be computed that way to get by 5. 1 by 5 you get 16. So the second day 16 chicken were sold. Go back to the question: how many chicken were sold? So the first day and the second day. So you add, this was sold the first day and this was sold in the second day. So the total that was sold is 200 plus 16, you get 216. Don't confuse. Reread the question so that you get the correct answer and to avoid careless mistake as you transfer the correct answer to your answer sheet. So the answer will be C. Then we have part B, or question that was stated in 2018, question number 5. What's the value of this? In this case, you have to name about the number of decimal places, master the multiplication table, and in this case we look at the numerator has 6 decimal places. How do you get 6 decimal places? After that decimal point, how many digits do we have here? 1, 2, 3. Then here we have 2, and here we have 1. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then denominator, we have how many decimal places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So preferably it is good to remove the decimal places in the denominator by multiplying by 100,000. Since it has 5 decimal places, then you remove by multiplying with a number that has 5 zeros. So, and you do the same to the numerator. Therefore, you'll multiply by 100,000, you multiply by 100,000. In this case, it will remove all decimal places in the denominator, but it will not remove everything in the numerator because the numerator had 6 decimal places. So after you have done that, you are left with 1 decimal place here, because what you do down to the denominator should be done to the numerator. So after we have done that, we do now the cancelling. By 62, 1 by 62 you get a 2. Then we go to by 2, 1, and by 2 you get 16. By 16 now you get 1, and by 16 here you get a 24. So it is 24 multiplied by 1.1, and you're going to get 26.4. So that is the correct answer. So remember, what you do down here should be done up there. It is preferable you move the decimal places according to the number of decimal places and the number of zeros. Then we have question part C. This was tested in question number 5, 2017, according to Kenya National Examination Council, KCPE 2017. So 2 men can complete work on a piece of land in 10 days. How many less days will such 5 men require to complete the work on the piece of land? This question you have to be very careful when it comes to terms like that one. That is why I noted it is good to underline, because the question may read, how many days will five such men require? It will give you a totally different answer, but here they're asking how many less. So solution, in this case we have men and we have days. 2 men complete the work in 10 days. What about 5 such men? So in this case, if men are increasing from 2 to 5, then the number of days will definitely decrease, because they are more and they are working on the same piece of land, so they will use less days. So the less days will be given the ratio of 2:5. It is good to note here that when you are looking at the decreasing ratio, we start with a small one, you go into the big one. But if it was increasing ratio, you will start with the big one going to the small one. So it is good to note that this one, the number of men will increase, the number will have 2 and they will increasing to 5. But now when you come to the number of days, where we have the question mark, the days, and this is our interest, is that the days will decrease in the ratio of 2:5. 2:5 in fraction form, 2/5. Get this part clearly. Decrease, you start with a small, going to the big one as a fraction, as a ratio. So 2/5. Therefore, to know the number of days, then we say working is calculated as follows. You now get the fraction, which is a ratio, you multiply by 10. In this case, by 2, 1, by 2, by 5, by 5, 1, by 5, 2. So the number of days will be 4 days. So the 4 days will be the number of days the 4 men are going to use. But the question read as how many less, not how many. It is how many less. So in this case, the first 2 men were to take 10 days. So it is 10 minus 4 to get 6 days. Note this part, okay? It's very important. So the answer is B. Then we have another question. 5 women can plant peas on a piece of land in 22 days. How many more now days will 4 such women require to complete planting peas on a piece of land? Now we do it again. So we have women, we have days. 5 women, 22 days to plant peas. What about 4? In this case, there were 5 and these were 4. So what do you expect? In this case, because they are less, they are going to take more days, meaning the number of days are going to increase. This is our interest. So the increase, the ratio, the increasing ratio now will change to not be like the first one. So in this case, the number of women is decreasing, therefore the number of days shall increase. This is where they have the interest in the ratio of 5:4. Note that this one is big and this one is small. So the ratio, that one, increasing ratio, there is like a kind of an inverse relationship. So therefore 5/4 as a fraction. So to get the number of days, it will be 5/4 multiplied by 22 to get 22.5 days. So these are the number of days will 4 such women require. How many days? But now if you have how many more, it means you have to do subtraction. So you'll say 22.5 minus 22 days to get 5.5 days. So the answer is 5.5 days. We have E. What is this one divided by 17? So these are common questions and you have to be very careful. It was tested in 2016 KCPE question number 5. So in this case, you write your number here. This one should be the inside and this one outside. So the first thing you do is 3. Can it divide 17? No. So you don't put anything here. Note that, since this cannot divide that. But now 34 can divide 17. How many times? 2. You place 2 here, not here. You place it at the top of 4. So 2 times 17, you get 34. So after getting 34, you subtract and then you drop the 0 1 digit. After dropping, you'll notice that these zeros cannot divide 17. Therefore, you put a 0 here. Then 0 times 17, you get the 2 zeros here. So after subtraction, you are going to get 0. Then you drop the next digit, which is a 0. So 0 cannot divide that. So you place a 0 up here. Then 0 times 17, you get 0. So you subtract, you get a 0. After getting a 0, you drop 1. So 0.066 cannot divide 17. It is not possible. Then you say it is 0 multiply. You put a 0 here because it is not possible. Then 0 times 17, you get 0 here. Then you subtract here. You get a 6. And then you drop the 8. Oh, now 68 can divide 17. So how many times? 4. So you put 4 multiplied by this, you get 68. You subtract to get a 0. Note how these zeros can come up, because this is the most tricky part. So follow this. You can rewind to listen again. The choices are there and the answer is A. Then we have another question. What's the value of this rounded to the nearest tens? It is good to note here tens, not tenth. So tested in 2015. Solution: we draw the chart, total value chart, and then you get tens here, and then you check the number on the right. In this case, it is greater than 5. Therefore, you add 1 here, and then this one change to 0. Move to the digit tens place value. Check whether the digit on the right one is equal or more than 5. This one, since it is greater, it is equal or greater than 5, add 1 to the digit in the tens place value, that is 9, and all the digits to the right reduces to 0. Therefore, you add 1 here to get 0, 0, 2, 6, 0, 8, 2. It is good to note, if you leave out this, you get it wrong. So your answer is the last one. It should not, you should leave the 0 there. Then G, what is this one rounded to the nearest tens? So in this case, you write the chart. In this case, you see that 4 is not greater or equal to 5. So this one is not going to change the value of this one. So if the digit on the right side is less than 5, you add nothing to the tens place value, but digits to the right reduces to 0. So this one will reduce to 0. So the answer to this will be 280,600. Sorry, it will be 2,806,190. Here there is assignment for you. Make sure you read keenly to understand. Look at all the terminologies used, understand, and before you mark or you draw the dark line, horizontal dark line in your answer sheet, ensure you reread the question. Then question 2, we have question 3, the choices are provided. Question 4, choices are provided, be careful. Then question 5, question and the answers are provided. Then we have 6, choices are provided. 7, then the choices are provided. Then we'll have the end of module 1 examination. Here, speed and accuracy shall be tested. Then ensure you are well prepared to tackle the 15 questions. Then ensure you stay away from distractors and you have stable internet. Thank you and all the best in your exam.